Hi guys, I've just decided to do a very quick video on a low carb breakfast slash lunch recipe that you can make for yourselves if you wish. Just quickly going through the ingredients. So for the omelette, you need an onion. You don't need a full onion, I just use a quarter to dice it up. You need an egg, obviously, or else it wouldn't be an omelette. I just use a bit of, maybe a quarter of a tomato. I've put in a little bit of avocado to make it slightly more glutinous and filling and increase the fat content. And then I've got some cheese here, and I've got a bit of salami, and so I'm going to use a sausage. Now it's up to you whether you want to put any of these ingredients in or you want to put any other ingredients in. And a little bit of bell pepper. Again, like I said, it's all optional. You can throw in some parsley in it, you can throw in some chilies, whatever you want. So that's for the omelette mix that I've used, because it's stuff that I've got. As you see, it's all cut up and it's all stuff I've got from before. And for the bread mix, what you need is our good old trusty, I've got about a quarter of a cup, excuse the Peppa Pig cup, that's all I could find. But it is quarter of a cup, so it's a good measure. For one piece of decent bread, good sized bread, you need a quarter of a cup of our keto bread mix, which is almond flour, flaxseed meal, baking powder and psyllium husk. And with that you're going to need some butter. So I've stopped using margarine altogether because apparently margarine is really bad for you, so I'm now using butter only, and I will need an egg. So in total you're going to need 2 eggs for this recipe, and I'm going to start cooking. So there's no science behind it really. I've just diced up all the ingredients, and I've added a chili in there, which you don't have to. So as you can see, it's very roughly diced up. There's literally no rule as to how to do it. As long as it's going to cook and it works for you, that's fine. And on the frying pan, I've just put in a knob of butter. So it's not much, it's just like a thin slice of butter. It looks a lot more than it actually is, but of course on this diet we don't really mind a little bit of extra butter or anything. So I've put that in, and that's cooking away, and I'm simply going to just add in on one side all the ingredients. Put all the ingredients in and just literally cook it till it's soft. So in that I'm going to put just a tiny pinch of salt and pepper. That's coming along nicely. While our omelette mix is cooking away, we'll turn our attention to the bread mix. And I've got here a container which is like a takeaway container, and I think that should be a rather good size. So in that I'm just going to put a knob of butter. And I'm going to melt that in the microwave. That butter is now melted, and I'm going to put in my quarter of a cup of bread mix, and then I'm going to try and break this egg without getting any bits in it, and success. You put your egg in, and then we've got to give it a good stir to make it into a sort of a loose consistency. My mix is a little bit dry. It should be sort of a loose version of toothpaste, and I find that's a little bit dry, so I'm adding a tiny bit of warm water into there just to loosen it up, and I'll mix it up and put it in the microwave. In the meantime, my omelette mix is done, so I'm just going to basically turn the gas off that and put it into a dish. So that is literally a minute done, and I'm going to pull it out and pat the bread. Oh, it's perfect. So that's done now. And you don't need to toast this now because it's going to get fried in the pan. Let's start making stage 2 of this. I'm going to take it out of the container, and look, it comes out in one whole piece. And what's good is I've got the shape I need underneath because of the container that I used. That was pure luck. You don't have to do that. So I'm going to cut around that shape. Out of the bread. You don't have to do it while it's so hot, of course. Alright, so separate your bread if you can. Okay, so my 2 pieces out like this. And then I'm going to turn the stove back on again. You might want to give that a wipe, but you know, I'm not in any hurry to. And then what I'm going to do is put another knob of butter. So as you can see, we're not skimping on the fat content here. So, but I'm hoping that I won't need any more butter after this, except for just a small scraping for the other side. So, sorry, I'll put the butter in. And the mix I made, you can see it turns out to be quite a lot actually. You could end up doing 2 or 3 pieces of bread with this. I'm going to do some normal bread for my kids and my husband, so that's why I've made a little extra. But you can make also enough just to service yourself. The butter is melting, and I'm doing it on a slow flame. You don't have to turn it up if you want, but I don't want the butter to burn, so I've just done it on a small flame. And then what I'm going to do is actually put the gas up just a tiny bit, and I'm putting the first part of the bread in like this. So now it's going to nicely start toasting. As you can see, I've left some of the butter in the middle, and that's on purpose because that's where the omelette part is going to go. So, and then so in between the bread, add some of that mix. And sorry, I'm being really clumsy because I'm trying to film as well as. In the meantime, I've just whisked an egg with a tiny bit of salt, and I'm just putting that on top. And what I'm actually going to do is keep the other piece of bread so it can slowly toast on one side for about a minute, and you can see the top is still soft, and at the point that it's still a little bit soft, not too much, or else it won't cook through, you want to place your middle of your bread on there and kind of press it in a little bit. If some of the egg escapes, that's great, tastes even better. So put it on top and let that sit for a few minutes before we flip it over. Okay, so let's flip it and see what's happened on the other side. Oh, perfect. That looks good. Mine's done. I'm going to take that now and place it on the table. Obviously, I couldn't grate the cheese on camera with one hand, so I just grated a bit of cheese on the side. And while it's still warm, I'm going to sprinkle some cheese on top. And that's it. That's your keto omelette bread. Garnish it with any topping of your choice. Avocado and parsley is great, but you can use whatever you like. Even cherry tomatoes are really good. Ordinarily, I'd have loads of ketchup on it, but obviously we can't. So chuck on a bit of mayo, or just fry a tomato and put it on top. It's up to you. Well, eat it as it is. It's fine.